I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that.
That lawnmower, that's that.
Gervonta does have a very athletic, speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing, like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch.
Lamont Roach appears to be feeling the pressure after new, intense training footage of Gervonta Davis surfaced ahead of their highly anticipated rematch. Roach admitted that after watching the video, he realized he'll need to push himself harder and train with more intensity this time. He acknowledged Davis's impressive...
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, that's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't get me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled him. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
Gervonta Davis is training with unmatched intensity for the rematch, determined to silence critics and prove he's still at the top of his game. Focused and disciplined, Davis is pushing himself harder than ever, determined to correct past mistakes and deliver.
Hold on to the bed. That lawnmower, that's that. Start that motherfucker lawnmower.
I made the decision of training DC because, you know, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute, so I feel as though this will help me. I'm from Baltimore. He's not from DC. That's what I learned. I thought he was from DC too.
This time, Davis is taking no chances. His training camp is strictly business, and recent footage shows him gliding across the ring during sparring sessions. His footwork is sharp, his movements precise, and his reflexes on point. He's not just going through the motions. He's executing with purpose. With the rematch approaching, Davis knows there's no margin for error. The first bout taught him that underestimating Roach could prove costly.
Oh, stop closing up. Gotta let it go. Keep turning, step around. Keep turning.
Beyond finesse, Davis is bringing raw intensity. In one clip, he's seen pounding the heavy bag with explosive force, each punch thrown with clear intent. This isn't just routine, it's personal. The first fight ended with too many questions and too much noise from critics. Davis is training like a man on a mission, aiming not just to win, but to dominate. Renowned boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has praised Davis for his unique skill set, especially his composure in the ring. Davis never rushes or forces his punches. Instead, he studies his opponent before delivering precise, calculated strikes. According to Atlas, Davis's true strength lies in his adaptability. He can fight on the inside, outside, or mid-range, and has the knockout power to end a fight at any moment.
He's going to try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly crosses closes those gaps, you know, inch by inch, step by step, and then he gets to you.
Despite the controversial draw in the first fight with Roach, Rolando Raleigh Romero remains confident in Davis's abilities. He dismissed the result as a mere off night, emphasizing that one shaky performance doesn't erase Davis's accomplishments. Romero believes Davis's skill, resume, and knockout power still place him among the elite and is confident the rematch will serve as a reminder of why Davis is considered one of the best in boxing.
People want to discredit Tanguy, and he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Cruz. Everyone has a off night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
One major factor that separates Davis from many of his opponents is his raw knockout power. While some fighters rely on volume or technical precision, Davis can end a fight with a single, well-placed shot. Observers note that he doesn't need to chase the action. His power becomes lethal once he finds his rhythm. In contrast, while Roach displayed excellent technique and composure in their first encounter, he lacks Davis's explosive finishing ability. Many believe that once Davis gets comfortable in the rematch, the pressure and power he brings will overwhelm Roach and
push back because Gervonta Davis is a puncher. So the extra aggression, you have to manipulate it little by little. You know, you have to instigate the extra aggression little by little. You have to get your timing in there. You have to get
my pushback.
And also, this is a southpaw. A southpaw sometimes takes a round or two extra to sort of get their timing, get your distances, because every southpaw is a little bit different. Right now, granted, they know each other, they fought in the amateurs, but it's still a lot of years away. And Gervonta does have a very athletic, speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch, he still has what I also said in the past, a very good IQ. He's very well trained and very intelligent. His thought process, a great sense of positioning and a great sense of understanding of where he is in the ring and how to react off that. Could he be a little aggressive, more aggressive? Sure, but you got to keep in mind that you're fighting a puncher who's coming from the southpaw stance and coming from the southpaw athletic angle. Personally, me, especially knowing what has been said about Gervonta behind the scenes for years that nobody brings out, and it kind of brings to light why they keep matching him with 15 and 20-1 underdogs. There is a rumor that behind the scenes, the Gervonta, there's a lot of bitch in him. There's a lot of front runner in him. If you push him, he will break, he will fold. It starts to add up because Lamont is from the D.C. area. They kind of know this. They grew up around him. They fought in the amateurs.
His father, who's his coach, has coached Gervonta in fights.
So that thing sort of comes to light where it's been held back from the public with the limited opposition level that Gervonta's fought more.
Boxer Jaron Ennis weighed in, noting that while Davis didn't control the entire first fight, his early rounds were strong and effective. Ennis pointed out that Davis landed solid shots early and set the pace, even if that was later overshadowed. He stressed that the discussion surrounding Davis has focused too much on his image and not enough on his actual performance. For Davis, the rematch is about silencing the noise and reminding everyone of his elite status. The controversial draw bruised his pride and raised doubts about his place among boxing's best. Now, Davis is training with fierce determination, treating this bout not just as another fight, but as a personal mission.
I gotta ask you about fights. Gervonta Davis, draw with Lamont Roach. people looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw. But I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job actually. I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. And I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first like 5-6 rounds. He was like boxing and frustrating him a little bit. But Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost, and he didn't, or it was a draw, I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. Like, he looked sharp to me. I don't know. People just be talking. At the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Davis isn't merely aiming to defeat Roach. He's looking to dominate, send a definitive message, and reclaim the respect he feels he lost. This rematch is about more than just a win.
We got to talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haneys, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against a Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was going to look at them like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims on all his receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
Following the initial fight, Teofimo Lopez observed that parts of the boxing community seemed to distance themselves from Davis. The draw introduced doubt, and some began questioning whether Davis had lost his edge. Lopez emphasized that Davis is now battling not just Roach, but also the narrative that he's on the decline.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you're winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
The first fight with Roach turned out to be one of the toughest tests of Davis's career. Roach didn't just survive, he competed at an elite level and exposed gaps in Davis's game, especially with timing and range. The rematch will reveal whether Davis has adapted or if Roach simply has his number.
And most notably, I'll just speak about a fight that, we just had with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. My message to Tank after that fight, you know, it was given a draw. A lot of controversy around Tank taking a knee due to hair band in his face or his eyes, so forth and so on, and burning his eyes. And you know, in my opinion, it was a competitive fight. The judges judged it as a draw. A lot of people were saying it was rigged, all these different things, so forth.
According to Davis's trainer, their team was fully aware of Roach's capabilities going into the first bout, and their strategy was intentional, even if it didn't yield the desired result. Interestingly, they don't plan to overhaul their approach for the rematch. Instead, they aim to refine and execute it better, showing continued confidence in their original game plan.
Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how's that rematch look like, and then what's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, you know, everybody thought Jalil won. We just got to turn, you know, hit the gears a little harder. You know, we ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, you know? Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory, you know?
This time around, being in Florida, do you feel like it's a mutual zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily a stoppage is good.
Henry Garcia offered a different perspective, suggesting that Davis may have been mentally distracted in the first fight. The absence of longtime trainer Calvin Ford may have thrown off his rhythm, and there may have been personal issues outside, the ring affecting his focus. For the rematch, Garcia emphasized that Davis will need full mental and physical alignment to return to peak.
There's no way you could say Tank won. There's no way.
Do you think that he's diminished in some way, or do you think that just mentally he just wasn't there for the fight?
Well, a little bit of both. You know, his age is catching up to him. You know, his legs aren't there as he used to be. And, you know, he switched his trainer, you know. That's could be another factor.
With Barry Hunter being the head trainer and Coach Calvin being outside.
Yeah, but he snapped at Calvin too. So that's, you know, there was something going on. I really don't know, and I couldn't really speculate on that because I don't know. But I know that something was bothering Tank because Tank is a good fighter, and he's out to hurt you, you know. But hey, you know, Lamont Roach stood his ground, and he did a great job.
One of the most debated moments from the first fight came in the 9th round, when Davis briefly went down on one knee and the referee chose not to call it a knockdown. Many believe that moment should have impacted the final score. That controversy has added fuel to the rematch narrative, with fans and analysts alike demanding a conclusive, controversy-free bout that brings...
All right, man. Listen, it's been a couple of days since that Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight. And look, you fooled me once, okay? I'm going to let y'all get that. Y'all got that. But come on, man. This was a money fight, clearly, and also clearly Tank lost. I mean, there's no mistaken identity that Roach landed more punches, Tank had a higher percentage, but when we look at the punches and the punching power, it was Lamont Roach 8 rounds to 4. And then if you take in consideration that Tank took that knee, which count as a knockdown, the ref even started counting. I mean, there's nothing even to debate here. If they were tied without them even counting that, if you supposed to have counted that part, he would have actually lost the fight. It's a win for Lamont Roach. Get your bag. Go out there and say you the only person that tied with Tank Davis. But, man, if y'all fight, y'all better fight for real. Because this, be real, man.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.